Hello, I'm Diane from Yoga in Bawley Point. Today's video is going to be about reducing stress. So it'll be a Yin Yoga practice, trying to release all the stress that we hold within our bodies. We'll start the practice with a pranayama, with a breathing exercise. Your breath is with you all the time. So it's a wonderful idea to be able to tap into your breath whenever you need to reduce a little bit of stress. To do that, we're going to lengthen your exhalations. Now, lengthening your exhalations taps into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest system. Now, that system is governed by the vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve is at the back of the brain, the very bottom part of the head there. I kind of visualise it like a jellyfish. You've got this round, sphere type, dome type organ sitting in the back of the neck. And it's got lots of tentacles that run down through the body. Now these tentacles touch the throat, the lungs, the heart, the stomach, the intestines, the liver, the kidneys, all your organs. So we're really tapping into this vagus nerve to stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system. So we'll start our uneven breath now. We're going to inhale to the count of 4, hold 4, exhale to the count of 8, hold 4, and then continue. I'll talk you through the first round, and then we'll do 3 more rounds after that in your own time. So inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, hold, 2, 3, 4, continue on your own, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, hold, 2, 3, 4, 2 more on your own. And then taking a lengthened inhalation and a lengthened exhalation. Allow the breath now to find its own rhythm. Now we're going to start our practice. The first pose is going to be a straddle pose. So here we take the legs out wide. Now in our yin we keep the muscles soft, so we're relaxing, finding those sit bones. You can have a little bend in the knees. Feel free to use any props that you need to. And now we'll just take the hands forward, Got my timer here. We're going to hold your straddle for 3 minutes. So we walk the hands down just until you feel that first bit of resistance. Now you'll feel it in the groin area. So we're targeting the hips and also targeting the lower back. Just breathing through it. You can drop the head down. If you want to, you can always have a block or a cushion underneath the head to help stimulate that rest and digest system a little bit more, or just let it hang. Notice in your forward bend that your exhalations are longer. It's easier to have a longer exhalation. This also stimulates that rest and digest system. So we'll be working into the bladder here and the kidneys. The chakras, we'll be targeting the chakras of the spinning discs that will run along the spine. The first chakra, the Muladhara chakra, which is a red spinning disc. You're feeling more grounded here. And then the third chakra, which is the Manipura chakra. As a yellow spinning disc. Now that one's connected to your self-esteem. Following your breath, if you think you can go down a little bit further, then walk the hands down. You might even like to have the palms of the hands facing upwards, dropping the head down. Just settling into this moment right now. Lengthen those exhalations. Now your next inhalation, slowly lifting the head to the palms of the hands down. Walk the hands in towards you mindfully, noticing what's going on, the sensations within the back. Take your hands behind you. Bend the knees, walk the feet together, then let the legs rest out. Let the head drop back. This is your rebound. This is when you'll notice what's happening for you after you've reduced a lot of areas where you've had no blood or very little blood rushing through, those areas that you've stressed. So now they'd be flooding with that fresh oxygenated blood. And also you have that fresh healthy chi running through the meridians. The meridians are these bound lines, these rivulets that run through the body, and they target each different organs. This one would be targeting the bladder and the kidneys. When you're in your rebound, this is when you'll feel that fragility a little bit more than what you would when you're in the actual pose. So from here, we'll make our way into the second pose. Now the second pose, you'll need a wall handy to come along to your wall, get close to the wall with your hips, and then take your legs up the wall. So we're doing a legs up the wall pose. You can bring the hips, snuggle them as close as you can toward the wall. Take the arms out beside you, resting them. The heels are anchored into the wall. Close your eyes down. Let the shoulders drop a little bit further toward the mat. Focus on your breath. Just rest. Rest here and release stress. So while you're focusing on your breath, when you inhale, I'd like you to repeat to yourself, I am. And on your exhale, repeat to yourself, at ease. Inhale, I am. Exhale, at ease. I am, at ease. Continue following your breath as we work here into the joints, the hips and the shoulders. The meridians are targeting the kidneys and all the chakras, the whole chakra system has been affected by this legs up the wall practice. Particularly your Ajna chakra, which is the sixth chakra. It's between your eyebrows. It's an indigo colour. It's increasing your self-awareness and your intuition. Inhale, I am. Exhale, at ease. I am. At ease. I am. At ease. Continuing in your own time. Do you notice your feet may be feeling a little bit of tingling, or maybe they're feeling a little bit numb? It's because we've reduced gravity. We're going in the opposite direction. I am. At ease. I am. At ease. 3 more breaths in and out. And then slowly, mindfully bending the knees. Take the feet onto the wall, hug your knees. Let the knees go, rolling over to the left side. And push yourself up into a seated position so you can make your way back onto the mat. When you come onto your mat, curl down. Rest in Shavasana. The arms are resting out to the side. I'd like you to notice any sensations that you're feeling within, just from having the legs up the wall. Having gravity run in the opposite direction. Reducing blood pressure. Reducing your stress. Now bending the knees again. Push into the feet, come onto that left hip, roll to the left side. Push yourself up into a seated position. From here, we're going to come onto your knees. We're coming into a toe squat. So you can have the hands resting in front. Tuck your toes under, leaving the knees on the mat, and sit back onto the toes, onto the heels, feeling that stretch in the toes. This is quite a strong stretch. We'll stay here 2 minutes. Now, if this is not achievable for you, you can stand up onto your knees, still getting the benefits of the toes being stretched. Otherwise, sit back onto the heels. You can just have the hands resting either onto the legs or onto the floor for a bit of extra support if you want. Some people might choose to take their hands behind them, which is a little bit stronger. Or some people might choose to sit on their heels with the toes tucked under and the hands into a prayer position. So of course the joints that we're targeting here are the toes and the ankles. That bound water within the meridians is targeting the spleen, the liver, the stomach, and the gallbladder. Now all the chakras here are being activated, stimulating every spinning disc along the spine. So here you will start to be really noticing this in the toes. We don't want any pain. I just want you to feel that sensation. Now breathe and lengthen through the spine. Another 4 breaths in and out. And then taking your hands forward, take the weight onto your hands, walking them forward. Untuck your toes. And then just rest the top of the feet onto the mat. Staying like this for a few breaths into your rebound. Feeling that energy moving around on the top of the feet, around the toes, where we've just stimulated. Often we'll neglect our feet. Today we're going to really look after your feet, reducing stress in them by activating the meridians around that area. Now, if you need to, you can just gently tap the top of the feet onto the mat, releasing a little bit more. And then keeping them still. We're coming into the next pose, which is still working into the ankles. We're just sitting onto the heels. And again, if this is not working for you, if you have knee issues, you can always have a blanket under the knees, or you can stand up onto the knees and just have the tops of the feet on the mat. Otherwise, you can bring the hips down. Now here we're going to start with half an ankle stretch before we come into the full one. So we'll start with the right one. Keep hands on the mat to help steady you. And slowly bring that right knee off the mat as far as you can. It might not come up very far, and that's fine. Just stay with what's available for your body. If it's easier for you, take your right hand onto that knee, just to encourage it to come up a little bit more. But that's more of a yang pose. If you want to rest your knee on your hand, you can. Otherwise, taking the hands to the mat. Be very mindful if you've had any ankle issues, particularly ankle strains or breaks. It's quite strong on the ankles and the tops of the feet, because they're the joints we're working into. Now slowly take that right knee down and then lift the left one up, coming into the opposite side, holding just 1 minute on each side. So again, either hold that knee to help it come up, not forcing it, just feeling that first bit of resistance, or take your hand to the mat and breathing through it, activating the stomach, the spleen, the liver and the gallbladder. And again, because we're activating, we're working into the feet, we're challenging all of the chakras to spin a little bit freer. Few more breaths here. On that second side, that left side, just going as far as you can. Next exhale, take that left knee down. Just sitting for a moment, you can readjust the feet if you need to. Now we're coming into the full ankle stretch. This one is where we bring both knees up. Now some people may only come a couple of centimetres off the mat, others a little bit higher. Just coming to what is available for you. You can keep your hands on the mat, or you can always walk them behind you, which is again a little bit stronger. I like to have the hands on the mat to start with. Just put my timer on. And then when I'm steady enough, then take my hands into a prayer position. Now lengthening through the spine. Full ankle stretch. Just stay near your edge of discomfort. We all know our edge. Don't go past it. Any pain and then you've gone too far. Breathing into it. This is releasing fresh, healthy chi to the internal organs. Follow your breath, lengthening each exhalation if you can, so you can tap into that rest and digest system. Feel free to close your eyes down. It takes you a little bit deeper within your own body. Our Yin practice is a relaxing practice. It's more of a meditation. So stay focused, trying not to attach to your thoughts. Just let them go. Focus on the breath. We still have a few more breaths here. We would have been in full ankle stretch for 3 minutes. So inhale here. If you have your hands in prayer position, take them back to the mat. Exhale, taking the knees down. Now come on to one hip and lengthen those legs out in front. Curl down onto the mat. Let the feet flop apart. Notice those sensations that are radiating around in the feet, in the ankles, the tops of the feet. This is where you might feel it a little bit more. Now before we come into the next pose, just gently rotating those ankles in a circle around one way. Just to release them a little more and then go the opposite way. And then releasing them. Squeeze your toes together, spread them wide and relax. We're now going to move into our next pose. So coming into your seated position. And this next pose is going to be a squat. So we can start on your hands and knees. Come onto the hands and then onto the toes. Now move the feet further apart. Take the toes out, pointing away from you, heels in a little bit. It's up to you whether you lengthen your width of your feet or bring them in. The closer you have your feet together, the stronger this is going to be. But we come into this squat mindfully, just until you feel that first resistance. Now if you find that your heels don't touch the mat, you get a rolled up blanket and pop underneath the heels, or a prop of some description under the heels. And then you can take the hands into a prayer position. Get my little timer. We're going to time here 3 minutes in your squat. Squatting is exceptionally good for the knees, the hips and the ankles, because they're the joints you're working into. The meridian lines will be targeting the liver, the kidneys, the bladder and the stomach. With the hips down like this, your first chakra, the Muladhara chakra, the root chakra would be stimulated. That's that red spinning disc grounding you, connecting you within your own body. So just see if you can feel the energy taking root in from the feet. So tap into that grounding nature just of that squat. Tapping into the nature of your squat, feeling the energy raising from the feet, coming up from the ground. Lengthen through the spine. Close your eyes if you choose. And breathing. Don't hold the breath ever. We can hold when we do a pranayama, but we're not holding throughout the postures. We follow your breath. Your breath will guide you. Feel yourself grounding, sinking into it. Notice which parts of the body that you're feeling this in. Got a few more breaths to go. When we come out from your squat, our rebound will be the same as our next pose, which is going to be Dangling Pose. That will be your rebound as well as the next Yin Pose. So let's take your hands to the floor, lean into the hands and lift the hips up. Bring the feet a little bit closer together, keeping the knees bent. You can rest your upper body on your thighs. Take hold of your elbows. Drop your head down. And just relaxing here into your Dangling Pose. Here we're really targeting into the spine. The meridians you're working into will be the bladder, the liver, the kidneys and the spleen. The Manipura chakra, which is the third chakra, just above the navel, that yellow spinning disc, would be activated, and it's increasing your self-esteem. With your head down like this, also your Ajna chakra, between your eyebrows, that indigo disc. And also the crown chakra, that white spinning disc. And it's activating your self-knowledge. So we'll continue in your Dangling Pose here. It's entirely up to you. You can release the arms if you want and try to straighten in the legs a little bit more. Just let the back of the hands rest on the mat. Have the head down. Or you can take the hands behind the legs. Try to straighten into the legs just a fraction more, but no more than that stress that you feel. We do not want pain. So I want you now just to imagine stress pouring out from the top of your head all the way out. Increasing your exhalation.
Releasing that stress, letting go a little bit more. Let the shoulders drop down more. If you find you're holding them too tight, if you have your hands at the back, then hold on to your elbows again. Head down. 2 more breaths in and out. And now bend your knees, release your hands, curl all the way up, just like a rag doll, coming up to standing. This is going to be your rebound. Standing in Tadasana. Notice those sensations, notice your lower back. Notice any feelings. Be aware of your whole body. Awareness without attachment. So we'll now make our way to the next pose, which is going to be Swan Pose. We'll come from Swan Pose, we'll come into Sleeping Swan, but we'll start with Swan. So coming onto your hands and knees, you might like to come onto the fingertips. Take your right leg forward. Now, the right foot will come to the left side of your mat, the knee coming down toward the right side. You may need to come up to the top of the mat a little bit. Now the back leg slides out, keeping the chest expanded. What I'd like you to do here, before we go any further, tuck your toes under at the back toes. Lift your knee. Push your hips back and then bring the knee back down on the top of the hip. The top of the foot. Now, that may take you a little bit deeper into it. If you find that's what I was going to say when I said hip, if you find that you're resting on your right hip, then get a prop and prop that hip up. We want the hip square. Now, if you have right knee issues, then please flex that right foot. Flexing your foot, it closes up that knee joint. It activates the muscles. It's a little bit yang, but it does protect your knee joint. So we're into our swan. We're targeting here, the hips and the knee, that right knee. Following your breath, we're going to stay in our sleeping swan up to 2 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. Once you come into this, if you think you can go a little bit deeper, feel free to wiggle that back leg out. So this is swan. Now walking your hands forward, rest your head down on the mat, or get a cushion or a block or a bolster and rest over that. So it's targeting the hips and the knee. Just trust yourself here. We're using a functional approach. We're not using a positional. So that means it depends on how you feel. I'm not too worried about how it looks, but how your body feels. If there is any pain whatsoever, then readjust. Now you might be able to start to really feel this working in that right hip area. Just invite stillness here and sink a little bit further. Even though we invite stillness, if you feel that your body wants you to go deeper, then you go deeper. So in the sleeping swan, to go a little bit deeper, what would you do is you wiggle that front foot further forward. Remember to flex it if you have right knee issues. Otherwise, leave it soft, let the body rest down onto the mat. Noticing with your forward bends how you can increase those exhalations. We've been here 3 minutes. We're going to hold another minute. Just be aware of if this is your Goldilocks position, that position that's just right for you. Now your next inhale, lift your head, take your palms down onto the mat, walk your hands in towards you. And then rest on that right hip. Use your hand to bring that left leg forward. And then the right one. Curl down onto your mat. Rest on your backs in Shavasana. Oh yes, and notice those sensations. Feel what's going on in that right leg, right hip, and the lower back. We're going to now make our way to the opposite side. So bending your knees. Come onto your left hip, roll over to the left. Push yourself up into that seated position. And then come back onto your hands and knees. So mindfully making your way to the other side. Take your left foot in front, behind your right hand, or somewhere there, over towards the right side of the mat. Bring the knee down towards the left side. Lengthen that right leg out. Tuck the toes under. Lift your right knee, push the hips back, push the heel back, and then place the knee back down. We're into swan. This is our swan pose. This is when you'll get those little adjustments right, noticing what's going on for you. If you need to prop that left hip up, or if you need to flex that left foot, go ahead and do so. Follow the breath. So this time we're working into the Swadhisthana chakra. That's your second chakra, just underneath the navel. It's the orange spinning disc. This chakra governs your emotions. So we're trying to relax a little bit more now by coming into your sleeping swan, walking your hands forward, resting your head down and breathing into it. Lengthen those exhalations. At any stage, even though we want to find stillness, at any stage if you think you can drop deeper into this pose, then subtly, mindfully, make those little movements to go in. What's your breath doing? Lengthen those exhalations. Are your shoulders relaxed? Feel free to use any props you like to fold over. So as we come into this final part of the pose, see if you can drop down into your Goldilocks position a little bit more, sinking into it. We have about 4 more breaths to go. On your next inhalation, lifting your head, turn the palms down, walk your hands in towards you. Lay down onto your left hip. Take your right hand, encourage that right leg to come back. And then bring the left leg out. Hands onto the thighs and curl down onto the mat. Rest in Shavasana. Shavasana, dead man's pose. Let the legs just flop apart. Let them relax. Let the shoulders drop to the mat. Witness anything that's going on within. here we're going to come into our final pose, which is going to incorporate a back bend with a twist. It's called cat pulling its tail. So you can remain laying on the mat, but come onto your elbows. Move my toes. So we're onto the elbows. We'll start with the right side. We're going to take the right leg all the way as far as you can over to the left. Now bend your left knee. Take the foot up near the buttocks. Take your right hand onto that foot. So you're removing the right elbow off the mat. You're now just on that left elbow. Cat pulling its tail. Working into the lumbar spine. And with the twist, also the rib cage. Always finish off our practice with a spinal twist. Without any extra knots or kinks in the body. So the meridians are sending fresh, healthy chi through to the gallbladder, the liver, the kidneys, and the bladder. Because of the twist in the spine, we're activating the Manipura chakra, which is the third chakra. And that yellow spinning disc, which governs your emotions. We're also releasing stress. Even though that chakra is governing your emotions, it can reduce stress at the same time with that twist. So the spinal twist is just like a huge sigh of relief for your entire being. It resets the whole of your body. Now feel free to stay here for the last few breaths. If you want to go deeper, come down off your elbow, laying on your back, looking over now the right shoulder, and continue to breathe. We're really squashing into the diaphragm here. That's that large muscle underneath the lungs. Because we're twisting, the abdominal organs have been misplaced within the cavity, the abdominal cavity by the twist. So the diaphragm hasn't got a lot of room to push down to allow the lungs to expand more. Now on your next inhalation, bring the head back so you're looking up toward the ceiling. Release your right foot. Bring that, left foot. Bring your right leg over. Take your left leg out. Square the hips. Come back into Shavasana, your dead man's pose. Notice your rebound. Notice what's happening. You might be feeling this around the right side of that lumbar spine. the hips. Don't push anything away, anything you're feeling. Don't attach to it. Just let it be. Being that silent witness to what's going on. So now take the palms of the hands down, push into the elbows, coming up onto the elbows. We're going to repeat that to the opposite side. So we're taking the left leg, over to the right side. Coming onto that right hip a bit. Bend the right knee, bringing that foot up. Take your left hand onto that right foot. Look over your left shoulder. The cat pulling its tail. Now instead of encouraging your cat to pull its tail in, the cat is trying to move the tail further away, which can be a little bit more on the difficult side, but just doing what you can to look after yourself. Looking over that left shoulder and breathing through it. Stimulating all of those internal organs where the vagus nerve runs down and touches the lungs, the heart, the spleen, the liver, the kidneys. It's gently touching those organs in this twist, and it's telling those organs to rest. This is rest and digest stage. So it governs, that vagus nerve governs the parasympathetic nervous system. From here, if you choose, you can lay down on your backs, or you might choose to stay where you are. Depends on your body and where you are at the moment. Trying to look over that left shoulder. Following the breath. Try and stimulate that rest a little bit more, so you can release more stress by lengthening your exhalations. Sinking into that Goldilocks position for the last few breaths. That position that is just right for you. When all unique beings, so what's right for you might be entirely different as what's right for me. So listen to your uniqueness. You might also be listening to my budgie talking. We have another 2 breaths in and out. Now on your next inhale, release that right leg. Let it come, slide back onto the mat. Bring the left leg back. Bring the arms beside the body, bend the knees, square the hips. Rest your legs out. Rest it in Shavasana. your dead man's pose. This is your rebound. Noticing the sensations within. Now bending your knees again, take feet to the mat. Roll over to your left side, push into your hands, come into your seated position. We're coming towards the end of your yin practice. For your short relaxation, what I recommend is that you come back into legs up the wall. So coming back into your legs up the wall pose in your own time. Bringing those hips a little bit closer to the wall. Laying down, swing the legs up. It doesn't matter if the hips don't touch the wall. That's fine. Even if you choose to, you can get a block or a cushion underneath the sacral area to prop you up a little bit more to increase that inversion, or you can just stay where you are. Anchor the heels into the wall, arms away from the body, relaxing your shoulders down. Legs up the wall, while you're relaxing in your final pose. Now I'd like you to follow your breath. Let's rest and release here. Let go of any stress that you may still be hanging on to by allowing the shoulders to sink a little bit deeper. Let the energy of the floor suck that stress out from you. Breathe in and repeat to yourself, I am. Breathing out and repeat to yourself, at ease. Breathe in, I am. Breathe out, at ease. I am, at ease. I am, at ease. I am, at ease. Continuing, following your breath in and out. Inhaling, I am. Exhaling, at ease. Continue with inhaling, I am. Exhaling, at ease. I am, at ease. This is Diane from Yoga in Bali Point.
Thank you very much for joining me today in this Yin Yoga practice to relieve stress. Namaste.